For years, the world believed they knew the Gosselins, the perfect American family with 8 adorable children, a strict but loving mom, and a reality TV dream that captivated millions. But behind the smiles, the matching outfits, and the cheerful family dinners, something much darker was happening. Hannah Gosselin, once the quiet daughter of Jon and Kate, has grown up, and she's no longer staying silent. Her voice now reveals a truth far more complicated than the glossy world of Jon and Kate +8. And what she's saying about her mother has left fans heartbroken and speechless. The golden family image that wasn't real. Before Hannah Gosselin could even walk, her life belonged to the public. Born on May 10, 2004, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, she entered a world already defined by cameras, contracts, and expectations. She was one of the famous Gosselin sextuplets, Alexis, Hannah, Aiden, Collin, Leah, and Joel, joining older twin sisters, Maddie and Cara. When Jon and Kate +8 premiered on TLC in 2007, it was marketed as a heartwarming portrait of a loving couple managing the chaos of 8 children. Millions tuned in each week to watch Kate's no-nonsense parenting style, Jon's laid-back humor, and their adorable brood. But for Hannah, who was only 3 when filming began, that perfect family image was never real. It was a performance she was forced to live. What most viewers didn't realize was that the Gosselin house had stopped being a home. It had become a set. Cameras were installed in almost every room, capturing everything from breakfast routines to bedtime meltdowns. Hannah's laughter, tears, and even her discipline were part of the show's scriptless storyline. "We are all representatives of the brand," Kate would often remind her children. It wasn't just a family, it was a business. Every smile was marketable, every argument an episode, and every birthday a ratings opportunity. Life under the microscope. For Hannah, childhood didn't happen behind closed doors. It happened on national television. Behind the cheerful narration and picture-perfect editing, the cracks were already forming. Hannah, naturally sensitive and expressive, struggled with the constant control that defined her mother's household. Kate was famously strict. She scheduled meals to the minute, color-coded clothing, and expected total obedience. Viewers often saw her scolding the children on camera, and while some praised her discipline, others felt uneasy. Over time, fans began noticing how often Hannah appeared withdrawn, especially during moments of conflict. Life under Kate's roof meant privacy didn't exist. Hannah later described that period as ordered chaos, where appearances mattered more than emotions. What the cameras didn't show was the exhaustion and the pressure of always needing to perform, to look happy even when she wasn't. While other children her age played freely, Hannah learned to suppress her feelings to protect the family's image. When the show reached its peak, the Gosselins were everywhere: magazine covers, talk shows, and tabloid scandals. But inside the house, tension grew. Jon and Kate's marriage began to unravel under the spotlight, and by 2009, their divorce turned from private pain into a public spectacle. The show rebranded as Kate +8, but the magic was gone. Hannah, then only 5 years old, was already feeling the heavy emotional cost of fame, the dark side behind closed doors. As the lights went off and the crew packed up, a very different reality unfolded. Kate Gosselin, overwhelmed by fame and the demands of raising 8 children, developed an authoritarian style of parenting. Rules were absolute, and mistakes were rarely tolerated. On television, it looked efficient, but for Hannah, it felt suffocating. "We weren't just living," she later admitted. "We were performing." The true darkness, however, came into focus years later when Hannah began to reveal what life was really like for her brother, Collin. In 2023, Hannah finally broke her silence, describing her brother's isolation. "He would not get to come outside and play with us," she said. "He would eat dinner at different times than us." It was a chilling revelation that confirmed what many fans had long suspected. Hannah revealed that her mother would keep Collin in a separate room, which she referred to as a containment space. There, he spent long hours alone, away from his siblings. Years later, Collin himself confirmed the worst, that he had been locked in that room, restrained, and watched through security cameras. "She had a room built with cameras in it," he told The Sun. "My mother would put me there, bolt the door, and turn the lights off." Kate defended herself publicly, claiming Collin had special needs and that professionals had advised her to send him to a behavioral facility. But Hannah's recollections made it clear that Collin wasn't a troubled child. He was a silenced one. For Hannah, watching Collin disappear from their daily lives left a void she couldn't understand. Even as the show continued, Collin became invisible, edited out of family moments and absent from celebrations. Hannah, still too young to speak out at the time, carried the guilt of staying silent. Breaking away, the 2018 escape. The tension between Hannah and Kate grew silently for years. By 2018, Hannah was 14 and ready to make a choice that would change the Gosselin family forever. After nearly a decade under her mother's custody, she decided to move in with her father, Jon Gosselin. It was not an easy decision. Kate had one primary custody of all 8 children after the divorce, and Jon had been largely portrayed in the media as the unstable parent. But Hannah saw a chance for peace. Jon noticed how anxious and guarded she was during her visits. Slowly, she started spending longer periods at his home until she finally told him she didn't want to go back. Jon later said that Hannah's courage inspired him to fight. In 2018, Jon was granted full custody of Hannah. Shortly after, Collin joined them after being released from his institution. For the first time, 2 of the 8 Gosselin children were free from Kate's control. But this freedom came at a cost. Hannah's relationship with her siblings fractured. Contact became rare, and the once inseparable sextuplets were now divided by distance and loyalty. For Hannah, it was simply about survival. She described her new life as normal, a word that carried enormous weight in her world. After years of filming and rigid discipline, she finally had space to breathe. A daughter's perspective, pain, and compassion. Despite the headlines, Hannah never turned her story into an attack. Her tone has always been measured. She once said, "My mom wasn't perfect. No parent is." This reveals a complicated mix of pain and compassion. After moving in with Jon, she realized how different life could be. "I can finally be myself," she said. "I'm not representing anyone anymore." Jon's home became a place of healing. Gone were the cameras and the rigid schedules. For the first time, Hannah had privacy. She could have friends, make mistakes, and just be a teenager. But she didn't forget her siblings. "They're part of me in a way no one else can understand," she said. Despite the emotional walls, she never stopped hoping that one day the family could reunite without the cameras or the contracts. The public fallout. If Hannah's testimony opened the door, Collin's story blew it wide open. In 2023, he claimed that Kate's abuse began when he was only 8 or 9. He said he was singled out and punished more harshly than his siblings. Kate responded by claiming her son suffered from a distorted perception of reality due to psychiatric diagnoses. Maddie, the eldest daughter, sided with Kate, accusing Collin of violent behavior. Caught in the middle was Hannah, torn between loyalty and exhaustion. She didn't join the public shouting match. Instead, in 2024, she revealed she had actually begun reconnecting with her mother after years of distance. "We talk about school and life," she said. "She's my mom." It was a short statement, but it carried the heavy weight of forgiveness. A new chapter for Hannah. By 2026, Hannah has grown into a confident young woman. She graduated high school, launched her own skincare brand, Gosselin Girl Beauty, and found happiness in her personal life. The photos we see today show a different Hannah, smiling, free, and radiant. But the scars of her past remain. Her story isn't just about conflict. It's about resilience and finding an identity after being raised as a product of reality television. The world once watched her as Hannah the sextuplet. Now, she is simply Hannah, a woman who has lived through more than most adults. She still stays in touch with some siblings, occasionally meets with Kate, and maintains a deep bond with Jon. Yet, the Gosselin family remains fractured. The twins live in New York, for sextuplets remain with Kate in North Carolina, and only Hannah and Collin stay with Jon. Decades after the show ended, the emotional fallout still lingers. Hannah Gosselin's story is a powerful reminder that what we see on television is rarely the whole truth. From the bright lights of a reality show to her quiet search for peace, she's learned that freedom sometimes comes with heartbreak. Do you think Hannah and her mother will ever truly reconcile? Is the damage from reality TV too deep to heal? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this deep dive moving, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Hollywood Unmasked for more untold stories from the heart of the industry.